All right, today we're going to build your very first Linux container using Docker. Seriously, we're going to go from a single command all the way to a full-blown, isolated development environment that might just change the way you code forever. Let's dive in. But first, let me ask you something. What if, for any project you start, any project, you could just spin up a brand new, perfectly clean, completely isolated Linux machine in, I don't know, a couple of seconds? No complicated setup, no messing with your main computer. Well, that's not some far-off dream. That's exactly what containers give you. So, what in the world is a Linux container? The best way to think about it is like a portable virtual room just for your app. It's this tiny, standalone package that has everything that piece of software needs to run: the code, the tools, all the system libraries. It's completely self-contained and walled off from everything else. Okay, that's enough theory. It is time to get our hands dirty and actually see how this whole thing works. Let's go ahead and create our very first container. You know, it really just boils down to two simple steps. First, we need to pull a blueprint, which in the Docker world they call an image. Then, from that blueprint, we create a live running instance, and that's our container. See? Super simple. Get the blueprint, then build the thing. So let's start with that blueprint. We're going to use the official Ubuntu image right from Docker Hub, which is kind of like a giant public library for all these blueprints. All we have to do is type docker pull Ubuntu. Now you'll notice we didn't specify a version. That tells Docker to just grab the latest one. And honestly, this is a fantastic habit to get into because it makes sure you're always working with the most up-to-date, secure version without even thinking about it.
Okay, we've got the blueprint. Now let's bring it to life with this command: docker run-it ubuntu/bin/bash. So what's all that mean? Well, run is the magic word that actually creates and starts the container. The IT part is what tells Docker, hey, we want to connect to this thing and interact with it. Ubuntu is, of course, the blueprint we're using, and that last part, /bin/bash, is the command we want to run the second it starts up, which in this case is just a good old command prompt.
And just like that, we're in. We are no longer on our own computer. We are inside a brand new Ubuntu environment. So what's it actually like in there? Let's poke around a bit. So to prove that we're really in a totally separate world, just try typing ps. This command shows you all the running processes. It's kind of the Linux version of Task Manager. And you'll see the only things running are the bash shell we just started and, well, the ps command itself. It's a completely clean slate, totally separate from anything happening on your main computer. So you're inside your new virtual room, but what happens when you want to leave? This is a classic little trip up for beginners. If you just walk out and close the door the wrong way, you might accidentally shut the whole place down. You've basically got two main options here. If you type exit or hit Control-C, you're ending that bash session. And since that was the only thing keeping the container alive, the container itself just stops. But, and this is the important part, there's a secret key combination. Hold Control and press P, then Q. This detaches your terminal. It lets you out of the room but leaves all the lights on and everything inside still running. This is absolutely crucial for keeping your environment active. All right, so now we know how to detach and keep our container running in the background. So let's talk about managing it, because as you work, you're going to have a bunch of these containers, and you'll need a way to keep track of them all. Your number one tool for this is Docker PS. Just think of it as your mission control panel. It gives you a live, up-to-the-second look at all the containers that are currently running on your system. But what about the ones you've already stopped? Easy. To see everything, both running and stopped, you just add the A flag for all. And now you get a complete inventory. Check out the status column. You can see one container is up while the other one has exited. And you also get these fun, randomly generated names like Vibrant Dirac. Pretty cool. So, how do we actually control all this? It's really intuitive. Docker stop basically puts a container to sleep. Docker start wakes it right back up. If you want to jump back inside a container that's already running, you use Docker exec. And finally, when you're totally done with one, Docker rm gets rid of it for good. And you don't even need the whole ID. Just the first few characters is enough. And this brings us to a really, really important point. Docker run creates a new container from that blueprint every single time. But Docker exec lets you run a command inside a container that is already running. You don't want to spin up a new instance every time you need to do something. You want to get back inside your existing one. That's what exec is for. So, we've covered the basics of creating and managing containers from the command line, which is awesome.
But now, we're going to unlock a technique that is going to completely supercharge your development workflow. This is the good stuff. The command line is amazing, don't get me wrong. But let's be real, most of us spend our days inside a code editor like VS Code. So the big question is, how do we bridge that gap between our powerful, isolated container and our favorite development tool? It's almost shockingly easy. There's this brilliant extension for VS Code called Dev Containers. You just install it, and this new Remote Explorer tab pops up on your sidebar. You open it up, and it automatically finds all of your running containers. All you do is find the one you want and click Attach to Container. And right here, this is where the magic happens. A new VS Code window opens, but it is not what it seems. Suddenly, your editor isn't running on your machine anymore. It's running inside your Linux container. The entire editor has basically been beamed into that isolated environment. This is where it all clicks into place. When you open the built-in terminal in that new VS Code window, you're not in your local command prompt. No, you are dropped directly into the shell of your container. Any command you type, ls, pwd, whoami, is all executing inside that isolated Ubuntu world. Your editor and your runtime are now living in the exact same place. It's incredible. And there you have it. In just a few minutes, we created a disposable, isolated, fully featured Linux development environment and seamlessly wired it right into our code editor. This isn't just some neat party trick. This is a modern, powerful, and reliable way to build software. So your playground is all set up and ready to go. The only question left is, what are you going to build first?